Making your way through work Monday takes everything you got. Then Monday night rolls around and you realize there's a shot. You're only 10 points away. All those times when your team had no fight, they're just so gosh darn frail. Then your star quarterback let another deep ball sail, and your third round pick bet on his team. Then go check out our streets where everybody knows your pain, and they listen to complaints. You wanna be where you can see our bodies bring you no shame. You wanna go where everybody knows your pain.
Welcome in to another episode of Dad Bod Fantasy Squad. I'm here with Robbie. Bobby, what's up, dude?
Not much, brother. Long time no see.
I know it's been a total of 12 hours roughly.
Something like that.
No, it's close to 24. It's close to 24. I'm struggling math.
Yeah.
Robbie, it's weird to see because we're so used to doing a late show where it's dark and everything. Now you got some light on you, man. It just gives you this like blue tint. It makes you look. It makes you. Oh, you turn the light off.
Turn the main light off.
I'm hidden in the basement, so it's always consistent here.
Yeah, I got some sun coming in. I'm trying to get do something. See if I could. Not much I can do.
Hey, you're trying to get your Florida tan back.
Yeah,
just through the sun.
Laying out today in the 40-degree weather.
Oh man, Ohio sucks. We have a real short show for you guys. We really kind of wanted to see if we could get some DFS lineups and DFS info of what we're doing weekly into our lineup, and sometimes that will be Thursdays, but because I have Fridays off, Robbie has Fridays off for the rest of the year, we're gonna kind of roll with some Friday DFS lineup. So Robbie,
yeah,
what are we looking at here? What's your lineup looking like?
Let's do it. We talked a little bit about this last night. Kind of the games that I keyed on were Jacksonville and the Minnesota-Detroit game. And then we also talked about our love for the Cowboys running backs. So I went with T-Law as my quarterback. We both think he's going to throw the ball close to 40 times a game, if not more, against the Tennessee defense. With that, I paired him with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. I think they're both going to have monster games. Both should find the end zone. I anticipate Jacksonville putting up a ton of points, and it's all going to be through the air. So with those two, I think they're solid plays. After that, my running backs are Tony Pollard. We talked about it. He has the upside of winning the week for you. He has the upside of getting you the points that are tough to get. Not a lot of players can get to where he can go. So this is kind of like, it's not a boom or bust. I think it's a safe floor and boom potential. So that's why I went with Tony Pollard. James Cook is really my boomer bust. Like, he can have a really, really solid day against the Jets,
or get 4 carries.
He can kill me. Yeah. He's been getting more and more work in this offense. They like him. They like him out of the pass game. This is the one that can kind of kill my team, but I think he'll have a nice day against the Jets. After that, I went with Amon-Ra. I mean, he has been unbelievable the past 3 weeks after that injury. He's fully healthy. We both anticipate that game being super high scoring. He's the guy, focal point of that offense when it's clicking. I think that's an easy play. It's going to be a safe play. He'll get a ton of points. After that, I went with Adam Thielen. I talked about it last night. He plays very, very well against bad defenses. They're going to have to throw the ball a ton. They're going to have to put up a lot of points. He's their red zone guy. Look for him to get in the end zone, hopefully a few times. Evan Ingram, I spoke about. He should be very good against Tennessee. And then my flex is DeAndre Swift. You're high on him this week. I'm high on him this week. He just proved he's healthy last week. If he gets that work, they're going to be passing a ton. I'm all in on him this week. That should be a very high-scoring game, very high-scoring fantasy totals for all those players involved. And then I went with Baltimore Ravens against Pittsburgh. They're not going to be able to run the ball against this defense. And I don't think their pass attack is good enough to get the job done. So I'm looking for a shutdown on that game.
So the only one that concerns me with your whole lineup, well, obviously James Cook, we already know what that is, right? That's a gamble on his cheapness, and there's absolutely because I have him in a lot of lineups this week as well. There's absolutely the possibility he puts up 3 points. But you're kind of saying, hey, this is kind of a sneaky cheap price for maybe a guy that gets 15 to 17 opportunities.
Yeah.
Nobody at that price is going to get those. So the one that concerns me though is Thielen. He used to be the red zone guy, but this year he has 3 total touchdowns. And he's cracked top 10, top 15 only once. And that was against New England. So like,
I'm not looking for, I don't think he's going to give me 30 points. I'm not looking for that.
Yeah.
I think he'll get me like 15 to 20, which at the price that he's going at $6,400, it was someone that I'm willing to take that risk on. I think the floor is safe in this game with how much they're going to pass the ball, how high scoring that game's going to be.
Yeah.
And it gives me the ability with him and Cook, it gives me the ability to go get Amon-Ra, to go get Kirk, to go get DeAndre Swift. Those are the guys that I'm anticipating giving me those big games, the big weeks that can propel me into the money.
Yeah, and you're pretty much saying, hey, I think Thielen can score this week. So if I have to discount here so I could have these guys who should have high floors, then I'll do it.
100%. So Cook's my gamble. I really think he's the gamble piece of this whole equation.
Oh, he's the biggest
Thielen, I think,
gamble
is going to I think he'll be fine this week. I think he's got a pretty safe floor with just how high scoring that game's going to be, how many passes there's going to be involved in that game. So Thielen doesn't scare me. Cook scares me.
Yeah. Sleeper has Sleeper has Thielen projected for wide receiver 17 this week. So they're a little bit higher on him because again, he's only passed that twice. So they're definitely higher on him this year. Or this week. Sorry.
Like I said, I think he's very, very good against bad defenses. Not great, but definitely in the conversation of getting me 15 to 20 points.
Did you hear your voice just whistle like your Piglet? Is it Piglet?
I did not hear that, no.
The Winnie the Pooh character? It was like all right. No, I like it. This is a interesting week. I already have probably a good 7 lineups, and for me, that's a lot. We're not quite as involved with the guys that are doing 150 lineups per week. I don't know if I want to share my screen, Rob, because it's small anyways. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Ooh, maybe I can. 1 second. There we go. All right. I have 2 of my favorite lineups, and this is one of them because I'm aiming for, we do a lot of big tournaments, Rob, me and you. We don't really do cash games. I don't know what you do on the outside, but these lineups are specifically for big tournaments. We want them to try to give you variance in your huge tournaments that you're probably inputting that you're inputting into, like the millionaire one, the $3 millionaire one, or I think there's like a $20 millionaire one. So all of these lineups that are like with thousands and thousands of people, these are lineups that we're specifically tailoring these for. So you could see some odd kind of gambles here. James Cook being one. I also went with him. He was $4,600 going against a Jets defense where they're good against the pass. You're going to think that we might see him involved in the passing game, but also hopefully running him a lot. Here's the truth is, Robin, you know this because you talked about it last night. Brock Purdy as my QB is absolutely the riskiest, even probably riskier than James Cook. 5,100, partner him up with Brandon Ayuk for 5,800. And then we bring back Godwin. So Godwin's on the other side of the ball. Hopefully he's staying involved. I think he should technically be ranked higher than Mike Evans at this point. He was 6,700. So that's my kind of those 3 right there. The game that I'm really focusing on: Brock Purdy with Godwin and Ayuk at receiver. But we also got a couple other things that kind of coincide. Derrick Henry going against Tennessee or Jacksonville, sorry, for 7,900. So I'm spending on RB this week. Excuse me. RB is a little bit tough. This was a position that I kind of struggled with this week. Last week we had a lot of cheap options. I loved some of the options that you had at RB. You had Swift, you had Brian Robinson. But again, there's a lot of guys on buy. So I'm okay with spending on one running back this week and kind of gambling. But I also have Christian Kirk in my lineup for 6,600. Yep. If Tennessee goes up a little bit early, that means Derrick Henry is going to run the ball. Christian Kirk is going to be thrown too. So that's my kind of pairing there. I also did one last one, which is TJ Hawkinson and DJ Shark. It's confusing because you're so used to seeing Hawkinson as a Detroit Lion, but no, he's Minnesota. We expect this game to be a shootout. I wanted a little bit of piece of it in this lineup as well. He was 5,100, also kind of spent on him. This is why now you're kind of starting to see why I had to spend on Brock Purdy and James Cook. And then DJ Chark, who is really cheap this week. And he's probably one of my favorite if you are looking to fill a flex for cheap. DJ Chark, that game, everything we're expecting should be a shootout. So DJ Shark should see quite a bit of work. He saw it last week and they went up 40-14. So he was 4,300. The last part that I also really, really struggled with, Rob, was the defense this week. And I had to go the Cowboys. Cowboys face Houston. Houston is starting Davis Mills, which is kind of a bummer. I was hoping it would be Kyle Allen, but they are putting back in Davis Mills, in which case Dallas should still eat up on them. The Cowboys defense has been top 5. I want to say the last 3 weeks. Pull it up. The last 4 weeks since bye, Cowboys defense 10, 15, 9, 23. So they've been excellent. They're getting turnovers. They're getting pressure on the ball. They had 7 sacks against Minnesota in week 11. They've just been lighting it up. Last week had a touchdown, have 3 on the year. It's an easy pick for defense for me this week for them because I couldn't find any cheap matchups when scrolling through. Baltimore Ravens and Steelers for that fact. Either one of those are the cheap option that I would go with if I didn't spend on defense, but I felt like the safer play for me was going Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys. I'm honestly going to look into that to maybe switch mine to that. They put up a lot of points. They're going against a terrible offense. I think it's a safe play.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard this part, but like Ravens and Steelers are the only 2 other defenses that I would even consider this week if I have to go cheaper. Yeah. I think I have them in a couple of lineups.
Yeah, I like Baltimore this week.
Yeah, there's a couple really good games that you kind of want a lot of pieces in. Jacksonville, Tennessee is one of those. Obviously, Minnesota and Detroit, I have a whole lineup dedicated to that. There's one other game too that I kind of load. Oh, Cleveland and Cincy, I'm kind of high on as well. So there's quite a bit of lineups that you can kind of tailor your own DraftKings lineup and set it to have that sort of variance and have that sort of playing off of each other, like we're both doing in ours. I could talk about all my lineups, Robbie. You want me to just keep going?
No. We're good.
You don't want 8.
We're good with the 2, Mark. I like your lineup. I'm just concerned about Purdy. My concern about him, which makes me worried about Ayuk as well. I think you can get killed both ways.
I agree with you. I do. I think this is a lineup though. Like say again, we're going in a $3 million tournament.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I want that variance. I want that. I don't think many people are going to pick. And I don't know what their projected ownership is for the week, but I get it. You're spot on. Robbie, I'm going to close it out, man. Are we good? Willie with his 10-7 comment. I'm going to go. Robbie, you back yet? You keep leaving me, dude.
Sorry. Dogs were freaking out to go outside and hit the fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like your lineup. I think it has the potential to really it's boom or bust, and that's what you really honestly that's what you want in these lineups.
And maybe Robbie going forward, maybe we should start putting together more head-to-head matchups, cash matchups that are a safer play and just a stronger lineup for people that do participate in those. So we'll work on that. We'll actually maybe we'll start building those together. And we'll have our own lineups and we'll build one head-to-head lineup.
I like it.
Cool. I mean, I think that's it if you guys have any questions on DFS, please hit us up. I've really got involved in it this year, so we're definitely available to answer those and help with the best of my knowledge. And Robbie. So if
Quick and sweet.
Short and sweet. It's not already following us on DadBod. Check out on Twitter at DadBodFS. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, DadBod Fantasy Squad. We'll be posting all these videos to there. And then we'll post recordings of today's episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Robbie?
All the major streaming platforms.
For myself, for Robbie Bobby. Peace.